Welcome. In this video, we're going to discuss the answers to the P1 revision worksheet, as well as a few things that might have caused problems or come up as you went through this work. The worksheet and the topic start out with the atomic models, which we've seen before in chemistry, but in physics there's a particular focus on the experiments, including, for example, the gold foil experiment. Remember to read the question carefully, as it's possible they'll ask you what the experiment was expecting, as they've done here, or we could also ask you what the experiment did actually show and why they concluded the things that they did. For density calculations, the key is to remember your calculations for the volume of the different shapes that you might be asked to do, and so I would recommend going back through and looking at those different formulas for the volume of different shapes. In the other scenarios where you have to do some rearranging of the equation as well as unit conversions, make sure that you are paying particular attention to those, as that's an easy way to trip students up on an exam, is to throw in an unexpected unit conversion. As its temperature increases, an object's density will decrease. We know this from the particle model which we learnt in chemistry. The particles will be spaced out more. The particles will therefore take up more space because we can't actually get rid of those particles, and therefore the volume goes up, the mass stays the same, and therefore the density goes down. Remembering the difference between energy and temperature, that temperature is the average kinetic energy or the average movement energy of those particles, and that the temperature is different to the total energy that those particles will have. In the specific heat capacity calculations, make sure you take the time in order to calculate these changes in temperature. That's an area that we commonly see, is that students will not calculate, for example, this 75-degree change, and they'll go with either the 20 or the 95 degrees as they do their questions. That finishes off this worksheet, as most of these questions we feel were fairly straightforward, but as always, if you do have any questions on them, please don't hesitate to ask those in the comments below. As always, best of luck with your revision.